Yeah, hi friends, Doc South here. Just another short video blurb. I was thinking, I often talk about, our home along the Musconetcong River, and the landlord, I guess long before we rented, lived here, and you thank heaven he built this beautiful deck out back that overlooks the river and the woods. uh, what's the hill that leads down into the river. You can see it nicely, and gosh, most every morning I like to go out there and just it basically, if you stand on the back of the deck, you face the east, and the sun's coming up, and I know it's just a nice place to be. And but at night it's a different world. First off, most of the activity goes on. We have kind of a long house, kind of long and skinny. So most of the activity's going on in the living room up front. You go out onto the back deck, and you're pretty far from everyone. You're actually alone out there. Sometimes at night, strangely alone. You get out there, and you kind of hang on the rail, lean against the rail, the very back rail, and you can survey the woods, and there'll be little balls of fog out in the woods, maybe leaves falling. If the wind's blowing, they go back and forth. And you have, if there's a moon out, you can sort of see a little, but still, especially, with all the trees, the moonlight doesn't get to the ground that well. The mood changes. The mood changes, and it would be a very intriguing spot to sit and read some good old Edgar Allan Poe stories and such. Yeah, as you're watching that, just kind of watching the woods and all that and all that mist. And of course, the river that normally in daylight is all sparkly and actually looks like floating silver. It just glistens in the daytime. At night, again, fog kind of hangs over it. Instead of, noticing it visually now, first off, you can hardly see it. It's just making noise. All you hear is gurgling. Yeah, like that. And now and then you'll hear what almost sounds like the sound of something going under, kind of like that. Yeah, it's almost like it's swallowing things. The river. And I'll tell you, you can sit out there a little while, and pretty soon the goose pimples, yeah, they do start up. Especially if you're there in the dark. If you're brave enough to turn out the kitchen light that sheds some light on the deck and the woods below. And you're up high over the the woods and the ground below and the hill, and but there's steps. Yeah, there's steps from outside that can go up the deck. So most anything on the ground could come up to you. If all there is a little gate that would, yes. Okay, so these things all come to mind as you sit there with your maybe your head in clear air, but your neck down in fog and mist. Yeah. And of course, the birds have gone from the cute little bird feeding area where we throw the crumbs and the cracker crumbs and broken up matzahs and stuff down onto where they can feed during the day. Now, pretty much anything that wants to go there will go there. Be it a river rat, or gosh, maybe a snake shows up hoping to catch a river rat. You just don't know. And of course, this time of year, the bears are coming back to life. In fact, I imagine for the past probably month or so, they've been out of hibernation, walking around, right? Yeah, doing checking out the scene. And some of them can be pretty big. If nothing else, even a small one can leave, I'm sure it could take your kneecap off, should it so decide. And so, and it's funny, the world's coming to life out there now that, again, winter's over. all sorts of critters walking around in that in the dark, in the woods, in the mist. And now and then you'll hear a branch snap somewhere, and then everything goes real quiet. You wait for the next footfall. Heaven knows what it might be. Yeah. And again, I know one night, I think it was just the other night, I'm sitting out there and think all this stuff's coming to mind. And honestly, I got to tell you, I was getting kind of goosebumps. Yeah. But I'm sitting out there and I'm thinking, geez, I don't know. And then all of a sudden I hear kind of a clump, clump, like that kind of, if there was something, the river made a noise that probably during daylight you could say, oh, okay, that, heaven knows what that might have been. It just could have just been a frog jumping, a big frog jumping in the water, or maybe a goose landing. They live there too, of course. So do the snapping turtles that like to hunt those critters. But you hear, and it may have just been a wave formation made that noise. But at that time of night, well, those the calmer things don't, the more sane things don't come to mind. It's, gosh, what was that? Sounded big, big and furry, and then you hear on the ground, you hear as something's walking through the doggone. Oh my God, something's walking underneath us here. It's between the deck and the river, and it's. And I'm thinking, oh my heavens, it's got to be a bear. A bear's probably coming up to check out the crumb pile. I mean, they'll eat anything, and I do mean anything. And I can't see a thing. It's all shadows underneath the. I thought I saw something lurking in the dark, but then again, it may have just been a shrub, and the wind blew it a little. I don't know. And it's walking right behind the house. God, what if I had to go down and check the oil burner now? You got to get to that. There's the door to the basement's in the back. You got to and of course also every horror story you ever heard is coming to mind now. And so I whip out I have a flashlight. Yeah, I have a flashlight. I figure I got to see what this is. Like that, and I aim the flashlight in that direction, and I turn it on, and I see what the yep. No, it wasn't a bear. It's just a doggone squirrel, a little squirrel, a rather small squirrel at that, just walking around trying to find some nuts in the probably to find a tree they'd like to climb and get themselves a little bit of rest. And I looked around in the woods, everyone else, nothing around, everyone's asleep. Fish are kind of doing whatever they do in the dark. And that squirrel, finally, although he sounded like a bear, he was just hopping from pile of leaves to pile of leaves till eventually he got to the tree of his choice and up. And he looked at me kind of to say, hey, how about turning out that light? I want to get some sleep. Yeah. And I decided, well, maybe I better do that too. Anyway, so it can be scary at night. But, someday I've got to realize lights on, lights out. It's still a doggone nice river. Except at night, boy, sometimes it takes a little convincing. Anyway, I thought you'd like to know. Bye now, friends. God bless.